What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about what perks you should be using on Caldera. If you enjoy the video, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe. That being said, let's get into the video. I'm here to talk to you about what perks you should be using on Caldera and the benefits of each of those perks. We might cover some cons, but we're going to focus mainly on the pros. We're going to cover them each by slot in no particular order. Alright, so for perk 1, you're going to want to consider using Quick Fix. The perk is very helpful if you like pushing teams and playing an aggressive style, as your health bar is going to fill back up when you get a kill. If you combine those with stims, you can keep that health bar full for a lot more time, which is very helpful in that aggressive playstyle. Another perk that you should be considering for perk slot 1 is EOD. It's not only helpful against all the frags and lethal equipment that you're going to get spammed, but it also counters incendiary rounds. I'd recommend using it if you encounter constant grenade spam or excessive incendiary round usage in your lobbies. I know everybody's lobbies are a little bit different, but I've been seeing a definite increase in incendiary rounds, so I've been placing EOD on a lot more of my loadouts. Cold-Blooded is another perk that you should consider using. I feel like it's one of the most commonly used perks right now, as it counters both High Alert and Combat Scout. It also counters thermal scopes, which can also be helpful, as a lot of people have been running those. For perk slot 1, I would give honorable mention to Double Time. The perk gives you an additional tack sprint, so it's going to help you get through some of those wide open spaces a little bit faster. However, you are losing some of those benefits from the other perks, so I would say choose wisely on this one. Alright. For perk 2, get overkill on your first loadout. Don't get Ghost right off rip. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants you to have Ghost right off rip. Loadout guns are also quite often a lot better than your ground loot. So do yourself the favor of having 2 solid guns rather than risking a disadvantage due to having ground loot. It's just going to benefit you a lot more, honestly. When you grab your second loadout, I would say go with either Ghost or High Alert. I'm not going to spend too much time on Ghost because everybody knows about Ghost and a lot of people use Ghost right off rip anyway. However, I think it's going to be a lot more useful later in the game as teams really start getting that bankroll going, and that's really where you're going to see the UAVs starting to flow anyway. For High Alert, this perk can be helpful if you don't care about going Ghost, especially with Caldera having a lot of open space as well as the robust plant life. So High Alert's going to be very helpful because it's going to let you know what direction somebody's looking at you from, assuming that they're not running Cold-Blooded. We already discussed that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that again. Another big benefit of High Alert is you're going to be able to hear the footsteps of opponents that are using dead silence, assuming that you don't get any audio bugs, which nobody can guarantee. However, we know they exist. The only downfall to High Alert is, again, you're not really going to get that benefit if the opponent's running Cold-Blooded. There's going to be an honorable mention for Tempered and Restock. So with Tempered, it's going to switch you to 2 plates instead of 3, and it's going to be the same amount of health. It's going to make it slightly faster to get back to being fully plated. Also, if you think about it, it actually increases your plate inventory because you're not using 3 every time. For Restock, this perk is going to allow you to recharge your lethals and tacticals over a 50-second period. However, if you read the additional information on the menu, it states that decoys and stims will recharge twice as fast. That's really something you have to consider when stims are so OP right now in Caldera, where you get that extra speed boost, you get that slide boost, and we all know that it's nice to be able to fill up that health bar, especially if you're trying to push out of gas. Alright, for perk slot 3, you're going to want to consider using Combat Scout. This perk has a lot of benefits to it. One of the biggest benefits is if you have a teammate that's terrible with comms or terrible at pinging, it's going to be something that they really should be using to help out your entire squad. It's going to help them ping anybody that they shoot, assuming they aren't running Cold-Blooded. Again, we talked about that a little bit. Cold-Blooded does counter Combat Scout. It also highlights the enemy when you shoot them, which is going to be extremely helpful for your tracking abilities as well. So the other perk that you should consider using for perk 3 would be Battle Hardened. This perk helps reduce the effects of enemy flashes, stuns, and gas effects. That being said, if you hate how much of an impact the stuns and flashes have, you should definitely be trying out this perk, even if it's just for a few games to get a feel for it. But again, I highly recommend trying it out if you cannot stand those things. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments.